Hey YouTube, Dawson Rider here with a review of the armored Robo Knight and Mighty Morphin White Power Ranger figures. So similar to the Megaforce figures that had the Ultra Mode and the red Mighty Morphin Ranger with Green Ranger armor, this is pretty much the same exact line, except with the White Ranger armor and then Robo Knight putting his clothes on, I guess. So to get started, I'm going to go ahead and go over the cards that they come with so I don't forget. Now for Robo Knights, I don't remember which one he came with. I think it was one of these two. It'd be hilarious if it was a third one that I didn't even consider, but I set this down somewhere when I got Robo Knight because I didn't find White Ranger immediately, and I just went to go find it, and it was right next to another Robo Knight card. It doesn't really matter. They're both going to say the same thing in the Morpher. But so, yeah, it's one of these two.
Robo Knight.
Okay, so yeah, I'm sorry about that. I just didn't feel like looking it up, and I was like, yeah, good enough. And then the White Ranger comes with a White Ranger card here, just a shot of him being White Ranger-y. So we'll show that now. And there you go.
Mighty Morphin White.
Alright, so that's pretty much all you need to know. Now that's out of the way, and we can move on with our lives. Okay, so I think we'll start with Robo Knight first. So his is a little more unconventional because, you know, he doesn't have an armor that would necessarily work for this line as well, like, you know, White Rangers or the Ultra Mode armor for Megaforce. So his comes with armor that just fell out, but there's an optional mode which I have here, which is sort of like a shield mode. So you can see like the arm pieces are here and the legs are back here and part of the chest piece, and what just fell out was his gun, which you can stick in here and he can hold it. It's not really sticking in right now, but I'm really not too fond of this. I guess it was kind of neat that they wanted to do something different to, and it kind of looks like his header when he transforms into a header, and I guess it was sort of neat they want to do something different to give you some more playability with this figure, but I'm not a fan of it. It creates all these little pegs that stick out of the figure, which are annoying, and it doesn't stay together all that well. Perfect timing. That was like brilliant timing. I didn't even force it. I just like lightly twitched. So yeah, I just really don't care for that. I don't really see a need for it. So I'm just going to scatter the armor around, and we'll put that on in just a moment. So when you don't have the armor on, you get kind of naked Robo Knight, who is just primarily black. You've got a little bit silver and gold paint around some places, and I guess you've got his heart here, this little robotic part. But he's never going to look like this on the show unless something completely drastic happens and Saban decides to film their own television show, which would not happen. So anyhow, the head sculpt is pretty decent. It's got really all you need. There's nothing really terrible about it. It's a little slender for Robo Knight's build, but nothing really bad. Like I said, the rest of the body is basic. The articulation on these are pretty solid. If you saw the last figures, you get a nice rotating joint here. You can get some great all-around movement on this hinge. You get a single elbow joint here, some swiveling. You get some swiveling at the hands. A nice ball joint on his legs. So you can also get a wide range of movement. Single knee joint, some swiveling. His foot can arch back and forth a little bit. And you can see here there's some movement at the waist and the chest, which is nice. And his head can rotate around 360 and move up and down. So pretty well articulated. He's just like some double joints shy of being a figure art, and obviously he's a little more muscular than figure arts, but there's some pretty solid articulation. So to put the armor on, it's fairly simple. The most annoying part being the arm pieces here, or like the upper arm pieces, which you have to take the hands off for. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And you might want to put it on the other way. Yeah, so it's not holding the... I'm sorry about that. See, I hate this stupid armor piece. Then I wouldn't even have to worry about there being pegs sticking off of it. Like I said, I get it was a neat idea to try to do something different for it, but it really wasn't necessary, to be honest with you. I just really don't care for it. Because see, even like it's on the back, you got these holes and pegs on it, which is just kind of annoying. And the hands are kind of hard to get in, at least for me. There we go. So yeah, those are the arm pieces there. So you just have to take the hands off to get to those, which is kind of annoying. And then here you've got the shoulder pieces, and you'll see there's two little sort of indents there that are going to go over these little holes indents here. So you kind of just line them up. Come on. There you go. Damn it. He's always got holes sticking out. That's what she said. Okay. So sometimes you can sort of adjust it so it's weird. Like you could technically actually put it down like that, it fits, but they are supposed to be a bit higher up if you line it up correctly. Come on. Come on, guy. That seems good enough for now. So now we have the chest armor, this piece here, which was used for the... You know what, I'm going to take these off until I do the chest armor. Except for this one, which doesn't want to come off. And then the back piece here, which wasn't used for the... Whatchamacallit? The lion mode or whatever it was. There we go, I should have done that first. That makes it a lot easier. I can kind of adjust them to be better, but I don't want to waste too much time. Now for the leg pieces, you just have to separate them and then put them on his legs. So you can see like where the kneecap piece lines up and then just snap it around. And there we go. And same thing with this piece. I thought for sure he was going to fall over. Snap it around. You can't see it right now, sorry, but you saw the first one. And so there you go. Robo Knight, his shoulders are a little bit uneven. Just don't look at him or pretend they're even. He looks fine, I guess. The armor's pretty annoying. Like you just saw, I kind of had a hard time with the shoulder pieces, getting them exactly right. They frequently shift. It does take a bit away from his articulation. I found when I'm trying to move him around, his shoulder pieces will frequently pop off. His proportions seem a bit off now as well. Like the chest armor is kind of thick and he just looks a little strange compared to other Robo Knight figures. So that's a bit of an annoyance. You do get a couple different hands. I have one of each on him right now. You get the holding weapon hands and then just some sort of relaxed or fighting martial arts type hands. And then as you saw also, you do get the Leon laser. This is in blaster mode. It can hitch onto his side. There's a little peg there. You can put it on the side of him. And then you also get it in sword mode. So that's neat, I suppose. But yeah, that's Robo Knight. Let's go ahead and set him aside. Sorry about the difficulties there and his uneven shoulders. But then here we have MMPR White. This is his base naked mold, which makes a lot of people mad. Not necessarily because he's naked, but because they have the triangles like all of the other MMPR Rangers, which technically he would not have because his suit is from Die Ranger. Honestly, it doesn't bother me that much, especially since once you put the armor on him, you can't really see it. And it does kind of give something different about the figure, and I think it kind of looks neat, to be honest. A lot of people are just kind of annoying about it, and you don't have to buy it. You can get the figure art without it, I guess. But otherwise, he looks pretty good. His head sculpt's actually really nicely done. I think it looks pretty good. The gold paint actually has sort of a nice shine to it, which makes it look good. The gold paint here also has a nice shine to it. He's pretty basic, just kind of like as if he was a naked MMPR White Ranger. And the articulation is all the same as Robo Knight, so I won't go over it. And you know, these are a little more muscular figures. I think they're just a tad under the 15th anniversary figures, which, you know, that's Power Rangers' thing. His armor's a lot easier to get on, a lot less annoying. The only thing I did leave on were these little shoulder straps here. All you have to do is take the hands off and slide them up here to like his biceps. I just didn't feel like taking him off because, like his shoulder pads, I felt like it would just take time away from the review of me sitting there struggling like an idiot. So it's very easy. They might even slide down when I'm doing something, but I just decided to leave those on. So you have these handcuffs, like not like he's gonna tie himself up, but you have to put them on by taking off the hands, which is annoying, but necessary. See, this is so annoying. I wish his handcuffs were like the leg pieces, which you just separated them and closed them, because those actually don't stay together too badly. And actually, I wish it just wasn't an armored figure and they just had the armor on it already. That would be great. I guess it's a gimmick thing. I don't know. I'll go into that at the end. So take the other one. You just slide it on his hand. And come on. There we go. His handcuffs, they have a little trouble staying on. See, they're slid down. It's actually a good thing. You just got to slide it into place. So there, you got to see that, so I wasn't lying. That slid down, slide it into place. That will probably happen frequently in this review. We stand back a little bit. His leg pieces, like Robo Knights, are very simple, even though they're smaller. They're just a separate thing, and you place them on here. Come on. And just snap them over. Whoops, upside down, I'm an idiot. Damn it. There we go. And then same thing for the other one. Stand up. And there we go. And then last, you have his chest armor, which is very familiar if you ever had the old flippable figures or just any other White Ranger figures. And there you go, you have the White Ranger armored figure. He also does come with some hands, different hands. Right now I have both of the holding weapon hands on him, and then you have the same sort of just relaxed martial artsy hands. And then you do get a Saba sword, which is pretty cool actually. It's actually pretty nicely painted. You got the primary white paint, and then you got silver here and some gold pieces, and it actually looks pretty cool. His articulation isn't as limited. It just really doesn't interfere too much. Some of the pieces might slide down, but his articulation stays relatively the same. And honestly, like this, he looks pretty cool. I really dig him. I've always loved his suit design, so I think it's a pretty cool looking figure like this. And it's really neat that the Saba weapon is actually detailed. So yeah, overall, I was a fan of this line. I was a little more annoyed by these figures for some reason. Like I said, I do just kind of wish they just made the figures and you didn't need the armor. Like, you just put the armor on them and leave it as a solid piece. I would have been fine with that. I get that it's sort of a fun gimmick for kids, I suppose, but I would have rather had that. At the very least, make these pieces like these so it's less annoying. Robo Knights was pretty annoying. But they're both okay figures overall. I really dig the White Ranger figure, with the exception of a couple of the handcuff pieces and whatnot on there. But if I had to recommend one of these, I would recommend you get this if you really like Tommy or Kiba Ranger, just the design. I think it's a pretty cool display piece, and with the exception of a little bit of the armor trouble, it's actually a pretty solid figure with some good articulation, and it's just an all-around solid figure. Robo Knights I really don't recommend as much. It might just be me, but I just really don't care for it. The armor gimmick makes it annoying because you have all these little pegs sticking off of him, and his armor just doesn't want to stay on as well, and his proportions are really weird. So I just really don't care for him as much. I wish they just hadn't done that with him, and he would have been much better off as a really cool, larger figure like this. But so yeah, that's about it. Until next time, make sure you check out the crazy podcast at WritersRangersandRambles.com. Until next time, Dawson Ryder, signing out.